Hello and welcome to IRL FP here for round 10 in Canada. Today, once again, I'm joined by Ollie Flevel.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me.
Of course, today, Canada, track limit's probably going to be the biggest talking point today, especially with the final chicane. Easy to invalidate on either corner if you turn in too early or too late, as we've got sometimes, of course. Matthew Walder can potentially win the championship today. I'll go over like the actual stats and statistics and that, unless Ollie maybe you could get that a little earlier. I think Tim has it in the announcements. So yeah, it is between Matthew Walder and Lewis Curtis. Of course, Lewis putting it on third right now, so 9.3. Matthew was a 9.0 on provisional pole position. So Matthew doing what he needs to do, of course, to take this title, as he took the last one in the last round. However, this one has gone a little bit better for him. He's been getting plenty more points, and well, 2 rounds from the end, he'll be able to win it here today in Canada. So I'm sure he'll be looking for a win today to win it in style. Just going to see Tim. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, sorry, I just looked for the FP announcements, and Lewis Curtis needs to win the race, outscore Matthew, by 3 points in order to keep the championship alive. Of course, Lewis is in the Williams, same car as Matthew, so it's going to be straight face-to-face fight, really. I was going to say straight to straight, but then that didn't really quite work out. But yeah, Lewis got to outscore Matthew by 3 points. Is that a possibility? Not quite sure, but we'll find out within the next hour.
Yeah, well, that certainly puts the stakes a little bit higher. If Matthew wins, then the championship is his. If he comes second and Lewis first, then not so much. But it basically almost, as long as Matthew's ahead of Lewis and he is at least third. Yeah, if he finishes in the top 3 and ahead of Lewis, then he'll take it. So Matthew's well used to podiums, so I don't think it's too much of an ask. It's just if Lewis Curtis can get ahead of him. Of course, if Matthew was 4th and Lewis was 5th, that would only be a 2-point gap and wouldn't be enough to seal it, but it would be 1 point away at least. But do you actually see Lewis Curtis on an out lap right now? So he'll be starting a lap in a few moments. If you want to take him for a lap, Ollie, as he's getting ready.
Lewis Curtis. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Lap. It says he was in 0 laps, which meant he was starting his lap, which is a bit confusing for me. But yeah, we'll go on board with Lewis Curtis, of course. He is the title protagonist alongside Matthew Walder. Just doing a little bit of weaving along the straight. He's got a racing point of Vessi coming up towards the back of him, so you've got to be careful of him starting the lap nice and smooth, making sure he doesn't invalidate the lap. Choosing not to take a tight line, but taking the wide sweeping line. Into turn 1 we go. Down to 3rd gear, over the curve at turn 1, down to 1st, hugging the inside curve for turn 2, getting the power down nice and well, coming towards the next right-hander, which can be very difficult to spot the apex, and it's very easy to invalidate over there. Oh!
Oh!
Ooh,
yeah,
crash.
Into the wall, not out, but
lucky not to lose his wheel there.
Yeah, certainly, as he's going to be able to at least set another lap in this session. Of course, he's not going to be setting a lap right now with no wing. So into the pits for him. Matthew Walder is on an out lap. We'll try and find someone who's actually on a lap. There's a few people on laps. Erminator, of course, the race winner last week. He is going into the pit lane, so that's an in lap. Michael Marlowe is certainly on a lap, or at least it looks like a lap. We'll get some of the data up on the screen. I haven't done that yet, so there we go. Of course, certainly using IRL, so he is on a lap.
Michael Marlowe 10th and a half up of course. Let's see what this is in the second sector. Try and catch me getting nice out of the way there. Would have been a little bit off-putting, but into our cars on nice and well. Let's see if he's improved throughout the second sector as he hits his split. No, he hasn't gained. He's matched his middle sector from the first time around. He's getting very Tokyo Drift out of the hairpin there, of course, but interesting to see if he picks up a little bit of a slipstream here from Lewis Curtis. Of course, he's driving slowly that wing, so into the barriers you have to take into context if Lewis is going to prepare to make sure he gets nice out of the way as he does. Oh no, that's Matthew, and he's starting his own lap. We'll go to that after.
And that's an invalidation.
He's invalidated on the outside. of all the champions.
Yeah,
Let's head over
not
to
a place
Matthew
you'd
Alder.
think you'd do it, but it's certainly possible. Vezier, by the way, during that lap did actually set his own lap in the racing point to put himself second with a 9.2. Matthew Alder now on a lap, really playing with the track limits, getting very close. Of course, top guys will be able to do that, and Matthew Alder certainly is one, as he's won the last few championships in F1, the last FP championship as well. So going to be looking for his second in a row, as he's going to be coming through the final few corners to finish up sector 2. We'll see how much he's up on his time. 2/10, so this should be close to pole. It's going to be a little bit dependent on how his hairpin and final corner is. Of course, the Mercedes engine is going to certainly be helping out down this straight. DRS open, as Brandon Glover has gone pole with an 8.7, so he's going to have to improve by a good 3/10. Matthew Alders, he's going to come through the final corner now. You can gain and lose a lot of time through here. It looks like he's taking it quite well, as he's going to hug the right hand side, and he is going to improve. Very close between the two, 0.04 of a second splitting them, but Brandon Glover is going to be able to keep it on pole position for now.
As a near perfect lap there for Matthew Alder, of course. You would expect that from the future esports driver. Expecting many things from this guy in the future, and of course I've known him a long time, but he's a very talented young chap and a nice chap, of course, and we all hope for the best for him, and it's a pleasure to be able to watch him here, especially in the commentary box, like just watching him hit every single apex, of course. But let's not talk about Matthew and take our attention to other drivers finishing their lap, or potentially starting that potentially.
Yeah, Jared
Black
Fosbury.
Phoenix, of course, going down the back straight.
Or, okay. Yeah, no, he's gone. That's much more. Up there, he's going to come through the final chicane, and, well, he's actually going to invalidate. So, well, the next one is actually Jared Fosbury, and behind him, I think it's going to be Lewis Curtis. So we'll go on board with Lewis right after, as Jared Fosbury a little bit hesitant going through the exit. Not, well, trying to keep away from of an invalidation for sure. Going through the hairpin now. Ferrari engine not going to be helping him out too much down this kind of final straight. It's like kind of 3 straights on this track, not really a back straight, but he's going to be coming up to the final chicane. Got to make sure not to invalidate, as Rocco Walsh did here a few moments ago. He's going to go through quite cleanly. He's going to be approaching the line. We'll see how well he can do. First lap on the mediums, onto the softs, and 10th was the 10.3. And then Lewis Curtis was next up. He's actually invalidated his lap. So that's
I was going to pits.
RV on an outlap. Michael Marlowe also on an outlap. It is RV first. Oh, Lewis Curtis has actually gone for another one, I think. Is he? He has. So he's going to actually be doing a lap now, I'd assume. No? He's not activating ERS, though. He's just kind of gone for another lap. After invalidating his previous lap. I'm not sure why he is, but regardless, RV is the next one up to be setting a lap, as he's going to be coming across the line. A little bit up on the grass, interestingly. Certainly not recommended going down the straight, but he's going to be going through the first few corners in the Mercedes as well. I'm pretty sure he is a new driver who signed up a few days ago. I think he's new to League Racing, so won't be expecting something crazy, or maybe he could surprise us. But he's going to be going through, of course, to Sector 1. We'll see what he's done. Of course, 3/10 down on his time, so certainly not improving anyways. Some people, I think, just exit the pits there, or maybe start laps. RV now going to be going through the chicane, certainly very hesitant, so maybe going to take a little bit getting used to the track, which is completely fair enough. Going through the hairpin now, 1/10 down on his time as well still, so he's not improving right now on a 12.3, down in 12th place. We'll see if he's going to be able to improve at all on his time as he opens up the DRS flap, approaching the final corner. Certainly got to be careful not to invalidate going through here, as he's going to be going through the final few corners, and he's actually going to invalidate, so that's unfortunate for him. Michael Marlowe now through the hairpin in the racing point. Earlier on, set a lap, wasn't I think he invalidated in the final corner actually, So, going to be approaching the final corner once again. So hopefully, for his sake, that he's not going to invalidate again through the final 2 corners. Much cleaner through there, and certainly a nice exit. What is he going to set? And it's going to be a 9.6 to put him 7th. Actually, only 2 thousandths ahead of Tim Brewstalens in 8th. So very close between them two. Tim Brewstalens also on a lap if you want to take him, Ollie. Okay, no, he's not on a lap. As Vezir leaves the session. Okay, no, that's fine. Ross Denham on a lap. Is Sundry? No, he's invalidated, and Arby's also. So yeah, it's just Ross on a lap right now. So we're going to be seeing how well he can do. Of course, he took the win out in France. Of course, he did have the Mercedes, which, if you're competent, then I mean, you'd expect to at least be on the podium, and that's exactly what happened. So in the McLaren now, we'll see how well he's going to do. Of course, the other McLaren just a little bit further up the road of Erminator, I'm fairly sure that is. So we're going to be seeing how well he can do, opening up the DRS down the final straight, approaching that infamous wall of champions and final chicane. Looks pretty nice. He's going to get maybe a little bit of slipstream off the other McLaren as well. He's going to cross the line. A little bit of improvement. 9.6, and actually between 7th and 9th, only 4 hundredths of a second between them. Or a thousand, sorry. Thousands, not hundredths. So yeah.
Yeah, as I was just saying, very, very close grid, of course. You've got a mix of drivers starting their last lap, as well as a couple of drivers on the flying lap already. So I'm just trying to figure out who's
Lewis
next
Curtis, I think, would be best. Of course, he's the one going for
Rocco's next
title.
The line, though. Oh, he's slowed down. He's going again. So let's go. Yeah, let's have a look at Lewis Curtis then, shall we?
Yeah, you can take him there, Ollie, if you want.
Alright, just staying nice and tight, going through the fast right-hander into this left chicane, using a nice amount of curb, both on the entry and the exit, of course. But close to the wall, nearly loses it and nearly bottles, qualifying once again, of course. Heading under the bridge, need to be careful you don't clip that little barrier there on the left. Halfway across the curve is what you want to see. Going through turn 9. Heading down towards turn 10, of course, which is a hairpin. If you've got Ferrari in the way, I don't know who that is. Oh no, it's a McLaren, and Lewis Curtis locks up. That's going to make him lose a lot of time there. Just going deep and preventing him from getting on the Power Nationale. Going up through the gears now, making sure he uses all his ERS. Being the tightest line down the straight, of course, you can lose time by taking a longer run down the straight. Make sure you pick out your braking point and taking the inside curve nice and early. Carries all the way speed all the way through there, uses the rear tyre just to clip the wall, just to make sure he stays in shape. And he crosses the line, he goes 4th, improved by 2.5 tenths.
Yeah, 9.1. Of course, Matthew Alder was able to improve a bit more on his 0.7 to go with a 0.6, but Brandon Glover might have something to say about it. Apparently, 2 tenths up after the middle sector, a purple middle sector in that Renault. Of course, that Renault engine not too bad in this game. Got a good amount of straight line speed. Approaching the final chicane. So, is he going to be the man to take this pole position away from Matthew Alder? He's gone through his final chicane, okay, he's not going to be invalidating. Can he do it across the line? He can, and 8.2. Brandon Glover on to provisional pole position. Matthew Alder is certainly done for the day. Erminator is going to be finishing up. It doesn't look like he's going to be improving. So yeah, this is actually your good Brandon Glover on pole position, the championship leader in 2nd.
That's not what Lewis wants to see. He's 5 tenths down from Matthew Alder. That's going to be a bit of a dent to Lewis's confidence, surely. I mean, he would have known that coming, but yeah, Lewis won't be happy with that, and he's got to hope that Matthew makes some sort of rare mistake in the race, maybe picks up wing damage or something like that, because that's going to be Lewis's best opportunity, surely. And as we run through the grid, of course, we've got Brandon Glover on pole in the Renault, Matthew Alder 2nd in the Williams, of course. What performance from him. Erminating 3rd in the McLaren, with Matthew's title rival in 4th, with being Lewis Curtis. Provesi in 5th. Toxic Tomato, aka Cameron Young, in 6th. Try and Catch Me 7th. Black Phoenix 8th. Ross Denham 9th. Michael Marler 10th. Explosions in 11th. Of course, he'll be the first driver to get fresh set of tyres. IRL Neon, Jared Fosbury gets the 12th position in the Ferrari. He'll be wanting to improve on his qualifying position. TNR's Dexter, sorry, or Sondre Silhaug 13th. RFI in the Mercedes 14th. Tom Jewell 15th. in a Haas, and Little Romanino 16th with that quali ban.
Okay, good. Because of course Tom Jewell's name is disappeared for me, so might actually come back for the race. But if not, then I know he's in the Haas at least.
Like a dry race.
Yeah, clear skies here in Canada. So no rain gonna be in the mix. Of course, if there was rain, Brandon Glover starting on pole position. Of course, he does like a bit of rain usually. So Matthew Walder, to be fair, does do quite well in the rain as well. But I think if it was between them, the Renault with Brandon would be the kind of deciding factor there. So regardless,
Yeah, Brad.
it's a dry race. So
Yeah. Brand does like to call himself a wet weather specialist, but he won't be using his expertise today in Canada. He may hope for a wet race in the last few rounds of the calendar. Of course, next week, where do we head to, Kevin?
should be Italy then. Yeah, 12 rounds. Italy then Bahrain.
Really well, as you see, Brown is about to lead the grid away for the formation lap. Nice and easy. Let's have a look at the tyres. Let's go to detail and tyres. So, we've got Tim on the Renault. On the mediums, you've got IRL Neon on the softs, hoping to stay within the DRS train, obviously. Then, interestingly, we've got Sondre, RV, and Tom Jewell on the hard, with Little Romanino joining Explosions on the medium.
They have very interestingly different strategies. Of course, the guys on the hards, you'd be expecting are looking at a one stop. Of course, it is possible, but usually you'd see two stops around here. Of course, that's why the mediums would be on medium. Soft, I would assume, with fresh tyres. Of course, Nino's certainly going to have that luxury of having the two fresh softs for the end, so he'll be quicker overall in the race. Timber Stalins, it depends how many runs he did in quali. If he didn't do too many, then he'll also have the two fresh softs and maybe be able to do medium soft stuff as well. But up at the top, of course, they'll all have to more than likely do a medium after the soft stint, so without a safety car, at least, kind of looks pretty standard. Of course, the two title rivals, second and fourth. Lewis is certainly going to need a good start, try and jump Erminator off the line. Brandon Glover certainly going to be throwing a bit of a spanner in the works, because Matthew's going to want this lead into turn one, and if he gets it, he might be able to stay there with that Mercedes engine. But if Brandon stays ahead through turn one, certainly the downforce is going to be helping him going through the first few corners if they are side by side. But certainly a good setup he got here.
Yeah, of course. I'll watch the back of the grid to keep an eye on any action near the back of the field, of course, as I usually do. But you've got to say it's going to be a good race here in Canada.
Yes, Brandon lines up on pole position, of course. Matthew Walder looking for a championship and also to become the first repeat winner this season, which we haven't had one yet. 9 winners this season and 9 races. But now we have 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. And it looks like Brandon and Matthew having pretty equal starts off the line, as we're not actually seeing any action into turn 1. Brandon Glover is going to be leading ahead of Matthew Walder. In the background, the McLaren stays put, same with Lewis Curtis in 4th, maybe trying to hold off the Racing Point there in the background. Can't really tell who that is until it kind of fixes itself. But yeah, okay, that's Michael Marlowe then. But Brandon Glover, of course, leads. I can't say that, ahead of Matthew Walder, Erminator, and Lewis Curtis sticking in 4th position. So Lewis not getting the start that he needs.
Yeah. Oh, Sondre's round. Yeah, I've seen. There was a big pile up at turn 1. It seems someone broke to avoid getting even more damage. Tom Jules picked up damage. I think Sondre may pick up damage as well. But there was a big pile up into turn 1, and it was just a bit of a crunch. And it was big shatter of carbon fibre going around all over the place, and just looking down the back of the field, Rocco Walters also got wing damage. There's a load of drivers who got wing damage. Jared looks alright, but I feel as though we need a wing report, and I've checked who's gone in, and we'll see a lot of drivers, I think, near the back towards peel into the pits, but
Yeah,
they
I
need a
did see
safety
someone in the
car to help them
background
out.
there going to the pits. It looks like not a... Okay, I assume it's a Haas then. I think both Alpha and Mayo's in, maybe. No, I can't really tell there. No, one of them's staying out.
You know, sit up.
So Rocco, Michael, Marlowe, Tom and Sondre all into the pits on lap 1, so they're not having the best start to their races. Presumably going to be going on the mediums now, but I guess we'll see what they end up picking as they're still in the pits. Looks like they are choosing mediums. Maybe Sondre's put on another... That's not actually possible to put on another set of hards. So yeah, mediums for Sondre there. Matthew Waller
So
in front though, Brandon Glover kind of gapping a little bit to the rest. Erminator sticking with them as well. Lewis Curtis, by the way, has been passed actually by Vezier. Vezier's actually lagged out though, so he'll take that position back.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that, of course, but now Lewis is under threat from Toxic Tomato in the much quicker Ferrari. Of course, he doesn't have the pad on the straight, but if he can get close enough, then he'll be able to do something. And Bavess has rejoined the session. So Lewis Curtis has now been set free to try to chase down Terminator, who's 2 seconds down the road from him, but he's already lost the DRS, so that's going to be big damage to his race.
Yeah, Cameron Young in the Ferrari, of course, right up the back of Lewis Curtis. Not going to be what he needs right now. He needs to be closing up to the guys in front who are gapping him, and Terminator also falling off the top two. Brandon and Massey really gapping the rest of the field right now. Terminator kind of settling into a P3 on his own, but Lewis Curtis, maybe it might be better not to fight Cameron Young if he is going to be that much faster. Maybe he can catch Matthew Waller, cause a bit of upset that way, but of course we're going to have to see about it. If Matthew Waller stays in a podium place, he will beat Lewis Curtis to the title, so Lewis Curtis really needs to get a move on here and start making gains on the top guys.
Yeah, it depends how Lewis wants to play his game and this race, to be honest, and how Cameron Young wants to go, because surely he'll be wanting to make moves on Lewis Curtis. He wants to win his own race, but Lewis will want Cameron to stay well away from the gearbox of that Williams, of course. But if we have kind of set ourselves up for a scattered race at the minute, you've got your top three, with Terminator lagging slightly behind, and you've got Lewis and Cameron, and then you've got a whole train of Tim, Ross. Oh, trying to catch, goes around the outside of Jared. I just caught that right at the end. What a move there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't get to it in time, but Tom Segar, of course, certainly
flag.
making a move. Is that Ross Denham maybe as well?
No.
Or am I wrong? Okay, no, Ross Denham just picked up separate penalty. Oh no, wait, there is actually a crash. That's
Tom Jewell.
Yeah, Cameron Young involved in something as well. He's round. There's a bit of debris on the track. Jared Fosbury's gone through seemingly okay. Lewis Curtis, I can't really tell. His wing is fine, but I mean, you gotta say it must have been something between Lewis Curtis and Cameron.
Cameron just lost it, of course, because he's getting used to no line, and he's using the wheel, which is, of course, is completely alien to him. So maybe he's still adapting to the new software, and yeah, that might be the reason. Of course, he's using IRL to practice. And I think next game we'll see a much improved Cameron Young, of course, with the much added time into the game that he needs. And that's someone going to the pits. Is that Ross Denham? Yes, it is.
Yep. Into the pits. Maybe he was involved in that. And we'll see if he... Yeah, he is getting a wing change. So it is interesting of what actually happened. Obviously didn't quite catch it, so don't really know who's involved in whatever did happen, but certainly Cameron Young, of course, he got massive damage. He's in the pits. He's getting a new wing as well, so not what he needed when he was chasing after Lewis Curtis for a P4, and certainly seemed like he had quite a bit of pace. Brandon Glover, by the way, still leading this race. Tom Jewell actually already getting lapped, which is interesting. So he's obviously pit a few times as he gets out of the way.
That's really, really unfortunate there for Tom Jewell, the Jerseyman. But I think if he's been lapped by the leaders, the safety car won't let him back through, is that right?
It won't, no. You're right.
That's really unfortunate for Tom Jewell there, and can't help but feel a bit of sympathy that his race is effectively over being a lap down.
Yeah, someone's race who isn't over though. Massey Walder, of course, running second, right up the back of Brandon Glover. Of course, neither of them making any mistakes, so kind of just happy to run a 1-2. Massey Walder, I'm sure, would rather it the other way around, but at the moment, not really trying to go for it. He's kind of pretty comfortable to sit behind. Of course, he'll be able to save ERS a lot easier as well. Maybe make a move later on in the race, but yeah, at the moment it's looking like Brandon and Massey do have some pace over the rest of the grid right now. Of course, Erminator falling back into the clutches of Lewis Curtis, you can see in the background, so they'll be fighting for third place very soon. But as I said, Lewis Curtis really needs to be ahead of Massey right now. If Massey's going to finish on the podium, he has to be ahead. So yeah, he's really going to have to pick up
He's
some
in nice and early.
Yeah, he is in quite early, which is an interesting call. He's going to be looking at an undercut, but if he ends up on go the mediums there, I think he did actually get held up a bit by the Haas. I can't really tell, but yeah, it is a bit of a glitch, but I think he did get held up a little by the Haas, though, as the Haas did go by his pit box
by Tom Jewell,
right at the same point. Tom Jewell? Yes, it is actually. That is the Haas that was there. Brandon Glover now out just behind Sylvain Vezier. So he's going to be getting held up pretty much for this entire lap. If Matthew Alder were to pit now, might be able to jump them both and put a car between himself and Brandon Glover, which isn't what Brandon needs for sure, as Brandon is going to be trying to make this move, I'm sure, as soon as he can, as he's going to be right off the back of the racing point. Not going to be making the move right now, maybe into the hairpin. He's got such a better exit as they're side by side on the exit. He's actually been putting the wall around Brandon Glover. No wing either, so this is going to mean Matthew Walder is pretty much going to inherit the lead. Virtual safety car is out. As you can see, Brandon Glover, no wing. So he's going to have to pit as well.
That is disaster. Unfortunate for Brandon Glover. And Matthew inherits a free pit stop from that, but Bavesio went deep and he came over on Brown. I feel as though Bavesio will be getting a penalty for that one.
Yeah, but maybe he was a little bit too desperate from Brandon Glover at the same time, though he didn't really need to make that move. Especially at that point, because he was only had a front wing alongside when he was doing a kind of switchback move there. And, well, obviously it ended up with him in the wall as Tom Jewell retires, which is kind of fair enough if you're a lap down this early. But, yeah, maybe if Brandon Glover waited a little bit, he could have made that move on the straight a lot easier. But
he's a racer, you can't just stop.
Yeah, no, I'm not blaming Brandon, but I think maybe he was a little bit too eager.
Yeah, I just feel so bad for Brandon in that situation because he was held in the pits and then he got stuck behind with Vesio, who made the mistake and put him in the wall in my opinion, and he's going to be driving rage mode for the whole of the rest of the race. It'll be a race of what could have been. Brand could have won this race, and the only thing that's going to save his race now, I believe, is going to be a safety car.
Yeah, that is true. Tom Jewell is messaging me. I am surprised to say. Why not? Would you mind adding Tom to the chat there?
I'll go for it.
Because he just asked to join comms, and well, I don't mind, so. Three voices are better than two, especially if, like, it's not really too much happening. Matthew Alder's certainly going to be making a move on Tim soon enough, you would expect. And, of course, inheriting the lead pretty easily as Brandon Glover picks up a penalty for even more upset to his race. Really not what he needs. It's actually another bit of contact here. The Mercedes of RV, I think involves in something with Vezier, maybe. Not completely sure. Going through turn 2, the Mercedes round, of course, certainly lost a lot of time. Maybe he went round on his own. Not really sure, but that happened, I guess. A little bit of a fight for 7th here, actually. The Racing Point of Michael Marlowe trying to keep Rocco Walsh at bay. Of course, Rocco on the hard... No, actually, this isn't Rocco. This is Nino. Forgive me. On the hard tyres after pitting. So, presumably going to the end on these tyres. Hards can go quite a while. Can I hear Tom? Is he talking?
Hello.
Well, there we go. But we do have a fight. We'll get to you in a second, Tom. The Alfa Romeo closing up to the back of the Racing Point. A lot, right up the gearbox. But not able to make any moves as three of them get closer and closer together, seemingly every corner. But, well, I mean, obviously, Tom Jewell, you didn't have the best start to your race. I guess you could kind of go through what happened there. Of course, getting lapped on lap 5 as well, certainly not what you needed.
Well, it started from bad to worse. I mean, quali ban. So during mid-quali, the only lap I've had all day was that out lap and then the formation lap because I was out earlier. So yeah, got in. Matthew kindly gave me a setup, and then yeah, crashed to Sondre. Next lap, got wing damage from spinning. 2 laps later, got a drive through. So I thought, all right, my time's up. Come see if I can go join the boys on comms.
Well, that's fair enough, and I guess, I mean, I'm certainly happy to have you, as certainly we've done a few comms in the past as well, so a little more insight, an extra set of eyes to look over things that are happening on track. Of course, right now, a pretty good fight, 4-7s. Michael Marlowe still holding up Nino Romanello, but I think Nino's going to be trying to make a move pretty much anywhere at this point. He seems a little frustrated, as he's certainly using a little bit of ERS down the last straight to try and make a move. He closes up, but just not enough to be making a move in the Racing Point. Certainly the Ferrari engine and the drag, I'm sure, of the Alfa Romeo not going to be helping out compared to the Racing Point. It doesn't look like Michael Marlowe's doing too well in those medium tyres either. Of course, 9 laps old for him, as Nino still trying to close up. Is actually a little bit of a mistake there from Michael Marlowe. Going to certainly allow Nino to close up a little bit more into the hairpin. Maybe he's going to go for a dive. No, he's going to stick behind, try and get a bit of a switchback line to try and get up the back with DRS. Maybe make this move into the final chicane. He's going to be in the slipstream now. The McLaren in the background certainly going to be capitalising on any mistakes any of these guys do, as they still follow kind of in a single file line right now. We'll see if Nino Romanello can do anything through the final corner. Doesn't look like a good enough exit, and actually it's going to put him on the back foot for Ross Denholm. Ross Denholm might be making a move, or at least he got close, but again, the three of them going to be, well, actually now Vezier as well in this battle, but still following a single file line, no one able to make a move.
By the way, I won't talk too much. I'll just let you two do the comms. I'll just comment on a couple of things every now and then. I'm just here to chill and enjoy the race.
Well, fair enough, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't actually look like there's any other fight. Of course, quite a big one for 7th right now, as it actually looks quite satisfying, the 4 of them going through the chicane. The Racing Point in the background, trying it down the inside of Ross Denholm side by side in the hairpin, just alongside, and actually Ross Denholm hits the back of Nino Romanello. Brandon Glover's going to be able to go through and get involved in this fight, a fight between 5 people now for the 7th place. The Racing Point of Vezier trying to make another move now down the inside, trying to go for this 8th place side by side with Nino Romanello. A little bit of contact, a little bit of rubbing between the two of them as well, between their tyres, of course. Still side by side. Nino may be lagging a little bit, or maybe that's just me, I'm not sure, but going through turn 1, the Racing Point's going to have the inside for turn 2. He's going to try and squeeze the Alfa Romeo out. The Alfa Romeo try and go around the outside now. The Racing Point, Brandon Glover trying to get involved in this as well, but I think, yeah, Nino's going to have to concede. And actually a bit of damage there for Brandon Glover. Ross Denholm's going to be able to maybe make a move going into turn 6, I think it is, as they funnel through. Of course, Brandon Glover now with this wing damage really not going to be helping him, as Ross Denholm has to save the car a little bit as they all go through. So the 2 Racing Points end up being in front of this train. Merc engine certainly going to be helping them out as well. But yeah, Brandon just breaking a little bit too late, it seems, and picking up a bit more damage, which just adds salt into wounds right now. Trying to make up for earlier as the contact that certainly he didn't need, as he's going to be trying to make a move actually on Nino Romanello regardless. Opens up the DRS side by side with Nino Romanello and ahead into the final chicane. But can Nino Romanello do anything now with the wing damage? And actually wing damage up in front as well. Vezier picks up a bit of wing damage of the walls of the wall of champions, I should say. Going through now, so Nino now getting held up by two people in front of him with wing damage. Ross Denham kind of in the same boat as the Alfa Romeo tries to make a move but seemingly just can't make it, as Michael Marlowe certainly has an opportunity to start getting away from these guys, as you can see a bit more damage maybe from Michael Marlowe. Brandon Glover trying it on the inside of Michael Marlowe. He's going to make the move. Nino now trying it as well. He gets a little bit of contact with himself and Vezier, and he's going to be trying again. Surely he's going to be able to make the move. Vezier, though, a little bit of damage as, yeah, he goes off, and Ross Denham's going to go through as well. So I think that's the end of the battling for him. Brandon Glover seemingly not doing too badly with the wing damage. He hasn't lost a large chunk of his end plate at least, which I guess is something, and he's certainly going to be making another pit stop, so he's not going to have to put up with it for the rest of the race, as he's now trying to chase down Michael Marlowe for the 7th place. Timber Stallions, by the way, recently pitted for the hard tire, so he's going to be going to the end. Of course, we'll see how well he can do. The 3 people in front. Actually, there's Ross Denham into the wall. At the wall of champions. I'm fairly sure it's... Yeah, that was on his own. He's going to be blocking the entire track there. Yeah, he's blocking the entire track. All that we're getting is a yellow flag, as the Mercedes had to brake a little bit, but his car just kind of disappears. That definitely should have been a safety car, but it's not. And I mean, well, if it was, imagine the top 2, of course, Lewis Curtis on the softs, Matthew Walder on the mediums. That certainly would have added a bit of spice to this race between the 2 title rivals. But at the moment, I think it's going to be Matthew Walder to take this, as he's got pretty much a 10-second gap at this point. Doesn't really look like a gap. Lewis Curtis is capable of closing with those old softs. Those mediums surely would be better at this point.
We see Brandon Glover into the barrier, go for a little ding-dong battle, as he does, pulls away from the slipstream, goes down the inside. Nice and easy DRS overtake there from Brandon Glover. Make sure he doesn't hit the wall on the outside. Of course, he's got a wing damage, he'll be understeering quite a lot. Nino Romanello has to say he's lost out quite a bit here, and there's an overtake between Bovesia and Arvi. But
it's seemingly pretty easy in the end, actually. Kind of seems like the gap got big very quick. But there was an overtake, however it happened, between Vezier and Arvi. Vezier up into 11th place now. Nino Romanello going to be trying to... Sorry, Ollie?
I was just saying, I caught that overtake, and Bovesia just went down the inside. Nice and easy move, and happy days.
Okay, well, I guess a simple move down the inside then for Vezier, as Nino Romanello, I'm sure, would love a simple move down the inside, but things don't seem to be all too simple in this race for Nino right now. Of course, he's had to follow cars for most of the time, and he's kind of been getting overtaken a bit more than he's been doing the overtaking. Of course, the hards not going to be helping out with that, certainly. Not as much grip as the 2 in front of him. Certainly Brandon Glover, 8-lap-old mediums. Maybe that's why, or part of the reason why he's able to pull away from these guys with the wing damage. As Nino Romanello tries to close up once again, those mediums surely at this point would be going off. They can probably go like 20 laps. So certainly another stop for Michael Marlowe. It's just kind of a matter of when he stops and if Nino Romanello can make a move before that happens, so he can start making gains on a kind of overcut, if you will, for Nino, as he's going to be up the back of Michael Marlowe, opening up to DRS, but it's not going to be turning into anything. He's going to have to stick by once again, but actually closing up a little bit through the chicane. Doesn't look like Michael's chicane was too good, as Nino Ronaldo going to be braking a little bit later than the Racing Point, trying to close up now. A little bit of contact, I think, there, as very, very close, of course, as doesn't affect Michael Marlowe really all that much, as he's going to be in the slipstream now, approaching the final chicane. Going to be trying a move here. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it through the final chicane. A little bit wide for Michael Marlowe. Remember, I'm pretty sure he does have... Oh, no, he actually doesn't.
He doesn't.
That was the other Racing Point, never mind. But Nino Ronaldo's still trying to close up, but can't make the move. And actually, well, I might be eating my words here, as he's trying it down the inside. A little bit of a front wing alongside as he brakes late as well, getting very close to the gearbox of the Racing Point. Well, actually, he hit him then as well, so certainly getting a little too close maybe as he goes through these few corners. He's so close now, you can see how much he wants to make this move, using a little bit of overtake, but not too much though, maybe saving it for the final straight as they go through the chicane. Once again, last time Nino got a much better chicane. We'll see, pretty equal at this point. Approaching the hairpin now. No move from Nino through the hairpin, but he's certainly going to be trying to get a better exit. He's going to choose that switchback line once again. A little bit of a back end loss for Michael, but now surely Nino Ronaldo on the back of the Racing Point. He's going to be going to the inside for the final chicane. Going to be a bit tricky of a move if you can't get too much ahead before the chicane. Still side by side and actually into the pits for the Racing Point. Don't think Nino was expecting that and actually picked up a warning.
There was contact. He just clipped the front of Nino's car, I believe, and that may have caused him to get a penalty. So that was very dangerous. I've seen an incident on Twitter from an Xbox league where someone pitted and they were side by side and ended up hitting the front axle of the old car and throwing them into the wall by the World Champions. So that's something to be very wary about. But of course, Brescia, into the barriers, gone into the pits, and he's come out in a new set of mediums, and he's got over 16 laps left. Oh, who's crashed? Oh, Sandro's crashed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that pit entry, I think most drivers, what they would have done was just back off, so there's no risky collision, so I've got a feeling that might get reported.
And here's actually Lewis Curtis, seemingly, yeah, he's actually going for a move on Jared Fosbury down the final straight, side by side, of course. Lewis Curtis, second in the championship, up into 5th place. Matthew Older now in the pits. He's going to be coming out miles ahead of Lewis Curtis. Both of them now going to be going to the end on those mediums. Lewis tried an undercut, but I mean, well, to no benefit really. The gap a little bit too much. Maybe trying undercut on other people's. Now his next target, Timber Stalins, who is also going to the end, so he's going to have to do this on track. And certainly hope that something happens to Matthew Older as Vezier picks up a 3-second time penalty, or another 3-second penalty. But Lewis Curtis on the back of Timber Stalins. Tim, of course, on the hard tyres, older hard tyres as well, so certainly going to be slower at this point, at least, as Lewis Curtis is going to be closing up to the gearbox of Timber Stalins. He's maybe going to be looking down the inside, and he is actually down the inside of the hairpin, and it looks like a pretty easy move in the end. Yep, up into 4th place now. But can Timber Stalins come back though? As of course, I think he's going to be getting the DRS. Actually, no, it is going to be Lewis Curtis getting the DRS, so Lewis is going to be able to stay ahead pretty easily, as actually simultaneously Thomas MacGyver getting passed by the leader now, Matthew Alder. Of course, on those old mediums, not really all that much he could have done.
Tim's noob.
Jeez, your F2 teammate, a lot of love there. But yeah, actually Nino Ronaldo, no, I thought he was making moves there, but he's just getting past Brandon Glover, who's pitting for the final time.
And got a wing change as well, important to notice that. So, of course, he was the quickest car on track during qualifying and during the first stage of the race, so he should have some bigger pace in those fresh set of tyres. It's about having a charge towards the end of the lap, the end of the race, sorry, and he has got a penalty himself, so he hasn't got that in his favour, but of course everyone else ahead of him have got penalties. But let's have a little look at the penalties. Okay, so everyone's Thomas MacGyver, Erminator, Lewis Curtis all have 3-second time penalties. as well as Tim. Jared has got 6 seconds. So does Lissa Romanino, with Michael Marlowe having 3 seconds. Bavesi, of course, having 9 seconds in that bunch. So surely that's going to be a wide open invitation for Brandon Glover to get a position on 1 or 2 drivers ahead of him.
Into the pits for Thomas McGyver. I think it's going to be a little close between himself and Jared Fosbury, who goes through, but he's going to have to go through turn 1. It might actually end up being side by side between the two of them. Thomas McGyver trying it around the outside, coming out of the pits, and he is going to get ahead of Jared Fosbury. Only just a perfect pit stop there from the Red Bull guys, and well, out ahead of the Ferrari, and he can push on now to try and go deeper into this top 5. Next target, of course, Tim Brustalen. So yeah, very, very close and really well timed by Tom Segarber to get out ahead.
Well, yeah, I feel quite offended there. You were saying Nino's the quickest person on track, but I mean, I thought for my 6 laps that I was showing up, I would. Well, I mean, still, that was quite quick.
Anyway, moving on then, we've got Matthew Orzo in front with a 10-second lead.
And he's also set the fastest lap as well. So he's going to be picking up an extra point.
Yeah, I just want to put a little commentator's curse on Matthew Order here. Let's hope that he has a clean and thorough race through to the end with no safety cars or incidents whatsoever, you know. He's still got 12 laps left, so hopefully everything remains alright for him, and hope it's a little bit of an opposite day, shall we say. Lewis Curtis 60 seconds behind, and my god, he's lost out so much with Lewis Curtis. But I reckon he'll be happy with the second as it stands. And we've got Try and Catch Me closing up to the back of Tim Brustalen as the only real battle on the track other than Brandon Glover and into the barrier, which is now resumed again.
Yeah, Brandon on the back of the racing point.
Harvey's crashed off the hairpin.
That he has. Unfortunate for him. Brandon Glover, though, on the back of Michael Marlowe, maybe going to be trying a move into the chicane. He's actually certainly going to be trying it down the inside. Last time he tried it here, didn't go so well. This time, it's going to go a little bit better, and it's going to be a clean move up into 8th place. 8th place is actually there simultaneously down the inside for Tom Segarver, down, up, actually, I should say, into the podium places now, ahead of Tim Brustalen, who's going to the end on those hards, but those hards certainly not going to be doing him any favours, certainly a slow tyre anyway.
Yes, I imagine. Do you reckon that Matthew will go for an extra stop and try and get the fastest lap?
Well, I mean, maybe. He already has it at the moment. I think Cameron, though, will probably take it, so maybe he'll want to get it again, but yeah.
Oh, Bavesi's out. He's retired the pits.
Donald took a wind change, by the way. Worst.
Is he in the session?
Pardon?
I'm not sure if Sandra's in the session. He's ghosted right now. No, he's getting lapped, isn't he? Never mind.
Yeah.
I was just curious, and then I accidentally insulted him, but hey.
Damn.
Yeah, Vezier certainly out, so I'm not actually sure. I think Vezier was already in 11th, but actually, no, that's just a lapped car. Erminator passing Jared Fosbury's as well in the final chicane for 5th place. Jared Fosbury losing another position.
And getting another pen. New. I just want to say that the new guy, this RV guy, he hasn't got a pen yet. So realistically, who's better, him or Lewis? Because Lewis has a pen. This new guy doesn't.
Oh, you might have a point there, you know?
Ignore the fact he's 15 seconds behind.
He's actually in the 11th. He certainly needs another retirement to get a point, but I mean, not out of the question. Still another 10 laps to go.
I think he needs 13 more retirements to get a point. I'm joking. Only if you're listening.
As there's Lewis Curtis past, I think, is that Cameron Young? Yeah, it is. So Cameron Young isn't going to be happy with that. He'll probably feel that he's quicker, but well, actually, no, it's pretty similar between the tyre wear, so maybe not. Sundry getting another pen. Wait. Oh my. Jeez, Cameron isn't even all that much better. Sundry is 18 seconds, Cameron has 15 seconds.
Oh my god.
Oh, Cameron's round. Oh! So it's Sundry, he's nearly round.
Sad he is. Is he waiting for Cameron maybe to have a fight? I think he is, to be fair.
Tim could get podium here.
I don't really know what's happening.
6 seconds.
I think he's waiting for Cameron, but I can't tell. Yeah, I think he is. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. So maybe going to be seeing a fight between Sundry and Cameron then. Jeez, 18 seconds the lead for Matthew Walder in the worst car on the grid. I mean, arguably, to be fair, Brandon Glover should have been there, but I mean, it's just hasn't happened that way. The fact is, he is 19 seconds in the lead, and he still has another, is that 8 laps to keep extending it, including this lap. So, as Jared Fosbury gets another penalty, I think that puts him up to 12 seconds. It does. As yeah, I think this is actually going to be a fight between the two, as they are going side by side. Sondre Sorog and Cameron Young, of course, the teammates in the F1 tier, going for a little bit of a fight here in the Formula Performance tier. Of course, Cameron Young gonna be the faster driver, but I guess they'll kind of rig it a little bit to just have a fight. It's actually very close there. Cameron Young down the inside of the Haas, and it's gonna be up. Oh, actually, I don't know if that was intended, but I've never seen anything like that. It just kind of did a circle around the hairpin there. I'm not sure if either of you two saw that, but
No.
that was interesting.
Yeah, I think he
I'm
lost the
watching
rear.
go Tim Lewis in this.
Yeah, he lost the
Because
rear
he
and then
was
just decided I'll go back on the track and do the corner again. Which is interesting to see. Erminator certainly is on the back
Oh,
of...
safety car!
Yeah, oh wow, this is gonna
Fuck's
be...
sake, why didn't I keep driving?
Because you're a laps down, so it wouldn't make a difference.
Fact.
This is Spice the race up, finally!
Oh, my future FP teammate crashed. Look at it.
Into the pits, of course, a no-brainer for Matthew Walder, and also I saw Rocco Walsh into the pits as well, so he won't be getting lapped, and he'll be able to catch up, or maybe he'll be able to catch up. It's a little bit of an ask, but I mean, going that slow, we should be able to make it. Matthew Walder out of the pits, Lewis Curtis also in. Thomas the Guyver isn't too far behind though. He might be able to jump him if those if the Williams crew isn't quick enough. Because of course Matthew Walder did just pit. Is he gonna get past, or is it gonna update? It is gonna update. Wall of Champions.
It was Ross.
What would the penalty be if you forcibly unlapped yourself?
Fairly sure the game just gives you...
Yeah, it disqualifies you.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way.
But I mean, certainly spiced up though. Lewis Curtis now, of course, like the top two in the championship, running a 1-2 in the same car, so there's no advantage for either of them. And also, I mean, you have to remember as well, Thomas the Guyver in the Red Bull, behind them both. he might be able to make some moves and throw a little bit of upset between the two Williams. Of course, a straight fight between the two rivals. If you could call them rivals, of course, Matthew is 50 points ahead, but I mean, certainly the two title contenders, a fight between them would be nice to see. Preferably Lewis coming out on top, so it gets pushed to the second last round, but I mean, it is what it is, it's a catch up to the safety car. Slowly but surely, anyway.
Tim's only, well, the guy probably had 6 second penalties, and Tim's only got 3, so if Tim can keep in that 3-second gap for 5 laps, he's getting podium, so I'll be gassing him.
Called him a noob earlier.
Yeah, he's still a noob.
Well then,
I'm gassed to see a noob get podium. I should have that.
Jeez, this is actually going to make it interesting. I mean, the whole grid, RV seemingly hasn't pit, but I think he's a few laps down as well. I'm not sure. Gap to leader, yeah, he's 1 lap down. So it's not actually going to matter really what he does necessarily.
Rocco's going to be creaming himself.
Yeah, he is going to be able to catch up. Of course, I think... I'm not sure if the safety car will be in this lap or next lap. We'll find out. Yeah, no, I think it'll be in the next lap then. Cameron Young picking up a final warning for another penalty. That puts him to 18 maybe? Yeah. I mean, you could say we have a fight between who gets the most penalties between Sundre and Cameron. On top of the fact they'll be fighting with each other presumably as well. They are both a lap or 2 down, so...
Whoever gets DQ first out of Sundre and Cameron wins.
They just, you know, take the title like automatically.
First person to get disqualified gets 100 points.
Except for Sundre, because Sundre gets gifted the constructors because he's with Matthew.
Oh yeah, true. No, negative 100 points for Sundre.
Mm-hmm.
No, if Sundre gets disqualified, negative 100 points for Matthew.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, negative 100.
Actually, I'm going to take a chance to check the comments, because there were a few earlier. Okay, well, it's actually just Terminator, so I got drive through. Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Ross is already
yeah, actually, this is true. I'm not sure if Lewis Curtis has taken a win this season.
You've got 6 seconds worth of penalties though, so looks like a fairly set in stone win for Matthew Alder.
Yeah, Lewis Curtis has taken a win. Thomas McGyver. Thomas McGyver hasn't. But he also has 6 seconds of pens. Tim, I don't think has... No, he hasn't.
You got 3 seconds.
So yeah, the most kind of like up there actually as we're getting ready to restart. Thomas McGyver and Tim, if either of those win, will continue the streak of a new winner, a 10th different winner it would be. But of course, if either of the top 2 win, whichever way it may be, then we would have a first repeat winner after 10 rounds. As Matthew Alder's slowing it down, he can slow it down quite a bit more as well if he wanted to, but it looks like he is going to be going. He is actually bolted out of the final corner, so we are away and racing once again here in Canada. The Red Bull up the back of Lewis Curtis, not able to make a move, and it looks like everyone's going to kind of be sticking in single file. Actually, no, Nino Romanello off a little bit, going side by side now with Michael Marlowe, kind of having to squeeze him out there, as Michael Marlowe's going to have to slot in to 8th place, kind of in an Alfa Romeo sandwich now, between the 2 teammates. They are actually teammates in, well, by car and actually just by teammates outside of the car as well. So I guess that's an interesting thing. But yeah, of course, between the top two, Matthew Walder 1.2 seconds ahead now. He's got that gap crucially out of the DRS range, so Lewis Curtis isn't going to be too happy with that. Oh, it was 3 wide.
McIver went wide, and then Tim tried to go in on the inside, and then McIver turned into Tim's wing. I'm not sure if he's got wing damage or not. He might have wing damage, just at end plate, but I don't know. He doesn't. That was lucky for Tim. Fucking hell.
No wing damage, it seems, for Tim, so certainly lucky.
What a lucky noob.
Cameron and Sundry both now have 21 seconds worth time penalties. It's getting rather close to disqualification.
Wait. I would be
the fight at the back is heating up. Yeah. And at the front, it's kind of just getting a little further away between the two. As Lewis Curtis under pressure now from Thomas de Guyver in the Red Bull. He's going to be up the back of Lewis Curtis. Lewis Curtis really doesn't need this right now. And on the outside, the Red Bull is going to take it just before the corner and up into second place. He's going to be chasing after the win now for, well, which is currently held by Matthew Walder. Matthew Walder, though, no penalties for him, so he's going to have to pull a bit of a gap, which is a bit of a big ask when you have 6 seconds of pens. So, not really looking like the best scenario.
Tim could get P2.
Yeah, actually, at the moment he has a P2, and Brandon, I think, might be able to snatch a podium if he stays where he is, which certainly he would be, I would say, in the circumstances, happy with. Of course, he would believe that he could have won, but I mean, recovering to a 3rd place after what he's been through in this race, I think is certainly something that he would appreciate. As of right now, of course, Lewis Curtis, Thomas de Guyver and Terminator would all fall out of the top 5, I think. Just to check the penalties. 9 seconds.
Oh, Brad,
okay, no, actually.
Brandon got 6 seconds.
Oh, Brandon has actually got 6 seconds, so he's not going to be able to be jumping anyone. But Brandon down the inside, or actually around the outside of the hairpin, going around the outside of Terminator and up into 5th place now. He's gonna have to pass Tim Stalins and then Lewis Curtis to seal a 3rd place. I'm fairly sure. Do
you know someone who we do need to look out for is Rocco Walsh in the Alfa Romeo. He's got 0 penalties.
Yeah, he has actually got
seconds.
no penalties. Actually, in the background, you can see the Ferrari getting passed by Cameron Young. 27 seconds of pens and actually disqualified.
I'm not dead, lads.
Well, I mean, there you have it. Between Sondre and Cameron Young to get the most penalties, Cameron got there first, and well, yeah, he's disqualified. Sondre might be joining him though.
Try and catch me, hit the wall.
Yes. I mean, no, that's unfortunate.
He lost
No
the rear
wing
and he
damage
had a
for him,
big
though.
oversteer and hit the wall. Don't think so, but he hit the wall pretty hard.
If you drive for Arvin, he's going to get a point.
And here comes Brandon Glover now on the back of Tim Stalins. Not going to be making a move into this hairpin, but he's going to be certainly closing up, going through the last chicane, and he's going to be riding back of him. DRS for both Renaults, and Tim is going to use a little bit of ERS to keep in front of Brandon Glover. Interesting sound there, Tom. As they go through turns 1 and 2, Brandon Glover's going to have to stick behind a little longer. And actually, no, it's finished. That's okay. Well, then I didn't notice the finish. I thought they were still fighting. Well, Matthew Walder obviously wins the race, and with it takes the championship in style. Of course, Tim Stalins getting the driver of the day and the podium as he gets cheered on by his F2 teammate.
Tim is on fire. Matthew is terrified.
Tim is on fire.
Fire. Matthew is terrified.
Well, anyway though, Matthew Walder is gonna lift the trophy and spray the champagne. He is the man who won this championship, of course, in the Williams and worst car for pretty much the entire season, but it didn't matter to him. He's got the pace, he's got the skill, and he's won the championship.
Jared's messaged me saying, read the stream message that's in order. He said, Tom the Peaky Blinders are ready for war for season 7.
Well then, anyway though, I'll go through the finishing order. Tim Mercedes obviously taking a second place in the end. Thomas MacGyver in third, Lewis Curtis dropping down to fourth. Couldn't beat Matthew Walder today and loses out in the championship battle. Brandon Glover, an unfortunate fifth, certainly could have been up there for a win. Rocco Walsh in sixth with no penalties in the end. Michael Marlowe seventh. Then Erminator, Nino and RV to finish out the top 10. And then it's Sondre, Jared Fosbury, Vezier, Ross Denham, yourself, Tom, and then the disqualification of Cameron Young.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's P1.
Oh yeah, you drove to Williams P1, did you?
Yeah, you can interview me for my P1.
Oh, so you won the championship then?
Yeah, mate. Wait, Matthew won the championship today?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I said that.
You just hear him saying they won the championship.
I said it quite a few times, like...
Actually, he's my...
Just to make everyone sure as well. Matthew has won the championship.
Oh, you're saying Tim won't be joining Matthew, or? Oh, okay.
Yeah!
Okay then, we'll get started with you then, Matthew. Obviously, you took the championship today. You also took the win for good measure. So, yeah, I mean, really not much to say about it. I mean, you won. You were leading by quite a bit. The safety car came out, but you got the gap and took the championship in the end.
Yeah, I mean, just perfect way to end the championship run, win, and the fastest lap in the Williams, and no penalties at Canada as well. Yeah, it was a really good race. My pace was good. I did get lucky with Bran having instant, but I still think I could have won if Bran, even if Bran didn't get taken out, because I could have just followed him like I was already doing. And he did end up getting 6 seconds penalties. I don't know. Obviously, he might not have gotten those penalties, but he got 6 seconds. So I think probably would have got them. The safety car. The safety car was interesting because what I was hoping was to have a more guaranteed faster lap, because I had a pit stop to Lewis, but I still managed to get it even with the safety car, luckily.
Yeah, and I mean, not really all much else. I mean, you led most of the race. Of course, Bran did have the incident when he was going for an undercut, but yeah, obviously the last 2 rounds you've nothing to worry about really. Maybe the constructors, I'm not sure if that's wrapped up yet, but for the last 2 rounds I guess you can take it easy. Italy and Bahrain, would you be taking it easy, or are you going to do it as you normally do?
I don't think I'll be taking it easy. I mean, I obviously won't be trying as hard. Just let the race flow, rather than today where I was just really concentrating, obviously, because I really wanted to win. Yeah, well, it depends what position I am in next race. Actually, if I'm fighting for the win, then I'll concentrate a lot. But I don't think I'll be worrying at all for the next 2 races. I imagine the constructors is probably wrapped up. Not yet, but it will be soon. I think we have like a 50-point gap or something, and the max they can score in a race is
should be 44 fast, or well, 46, because of the
well,
fastest lap.
that's
and
one race, and
also
it's 2, so yeah, 92 is max they can score. So I think after next race that will hopefully be wrapped up, and then I definitely don't have to worry about anything. Might even start at the back for the last race.
Okay, well, congratulations on your win and obviously title. 2-time champion now. Go ahead of Jared as well, so that's certainly something to slag him with. But yeah, congratulations on the win and title, and good luck for the last rounds.
Thank you.
I guess I'll let Tom then, because you seem very excited that Tim's on the podium. So you can take him.
I'll let Ollie do. I'll let Ollie do it. But yeah, well done, Tim, mate. Congratulations. I was rooting for you the whole way.
Thank you.
Even when I was still driving, I still wanted you to beat me. You didn't quite drive as well as I did for the first 6 laps. I just got very unfortunate. But yeah, well done, mate. Anyway, I'll let Ollie interview you because he's the main. Well, he's the co-com. I'm just here to bystand and watch.
So, hello Timothy, how was your race? Let's talk about some of your highs and lows in the race, of course. You seemed to go for the one-stop strategy until the safety car came out where you pitted for softs. Just tell me, where do you think you would have finished if you carried on with a one-stop strategy, and do you feel as though that was the better way to go this race?
To race with the pit stop, it was I planned normally to go on medium soft, but then I asked Matthew after the VC if it would be better to go on hards, and he said yeah, I should. I think in the end I would have finished without the safety car on P4 or P5, would be still decent, but I take a P2. My up and downs, my biggest down on this day was definitely qualifying. I was 6/10 of my normal pace. I just completely bottled the qualifying. Yeah, then the VC ruined mid-race a bit my race in general, but then, yeah, with the hards I just tried to get no penalty. I got one stupid, but in the end, yeah, nothing to worry about because I had more pens, and yeah, the safety car in the end really helped my ass. Yeah, as I said, otherwise I would have finished P5. And yeah, I'm happy.
Good stuff, of course. Of course, you're in the Renault today. Would you feel as though that was... did you enjoy driving the Renault, or how did you find driving, and how did you find the characteristics around Canada?
After getting dropped from the McLaren to the Renault, I thought, okay, winning or a podium would not be the realistic thing. But I still tried. I had not much practice, and me, Renault, and Canada, it's just working. It worked out in season 8, winning this race in F5. That was just great to drive the Renault again. It's just the car was overall in every sector of the car is just midfield, and you have a good feeling still. Like not like the Williams or the Alfa Romeo, who feels like it would be weighing like 200 tons. And yeah, it was great to drive the Renault again. Yeah, but next week I think I will be in a much slower car.
Yes, of course. Next week is Monza, of course. It is very straight line speed orientated, as it's obviously nicknamed the Temple of Speed. Do you hoping to what's your targets for next week really, and do you hope to have another podium again?
With going to the Temple of Speed Monza, I like Monza really. Hopefully I'm not in a Ferrari powered engine car. Otherwise, then if I'm around AlphaTauri or something, I think a few good points could be in, but that depends every time how the other drivers having which car and the pace. But yeah, looking forward to Monza next week, and then yeah, hopefully I get some good points on the board.
Good stuff. Thank you very much for these questions and answers, and I'll pass you back over to Kevin.
Wait, Matthew, Cameron said you missed something in the comments.
Yeah, he was very ecstatic about his DNS, not DNS.
Oh yeah,
DNSQ
well done, Cameron.
that he
Yes,
had
good. Well done, Cameron, everyone.
with his many penalties that he picked up while battling something.
Yeah,
Well,
anyway, congrats to Matthew for winning the title.
Yeah, well, anyway, that has been, of course, IRL FP. The championship now is decided. Massey Walder, the winner, 2-time champion, 2 in a row now. And, of course, on his way, certainly, if he hasn't already won it in F1, to take that as well. So, yeah, that has been Canada from me and Ollie. Ollie might be here next week. I'm not sure if you're getting your wheel by then, but if you're not, then I wouldn't mind you being here again. But yeah, that has been Canada here for FP, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.